being laureate, I've been asked to do all sorts of commissions. So I had to write something for Burns Night, for a whiskey tasting in the library. So I had to do some research into single malts, which was quite an expensive habit. Yeah, I wasn't paid sufficiently, really. And I've also had to write for a Christmas switch on of the lights, and think about that and the connection with the city. What are we really lighting up in the city? And it was literally time for someone to switch on the switch. I've had to write for the inauguration of the High Sheriff of the West Midlands, and I didn't know there was such a thing before. It was quite challenging. But probably so far, one of the most moving events I've been involved in is the Holocaust Memorial Day. And it's a very big event in the city. It takes part in the big old town hall, which is a kind of Grecian-style thing with pillars and a very, a very large venue. And it was a meeting, and like a non-religious celebration and memorial of Holocaust, with all its educational elements, thinking about how we can understand Holocaust in a wider sense. And I read after an Auschwitz survivor, so it was very, very moving, and obviously a challenging thing to write for. Every year they set a theme, and so this year the theme was journeys. So when I wrote it, I tried to think, how can I make sense of this theme through the city, as I'm the city laureate and I'm fascinated by place. How can I come to this? So though it's probably not the jolliest, but the mood boosting of poems, should I read that for you? So it's called Connected Journeys. And I read it was just off in the new year. So we just had the new year, which is why I've started off in this way. Connected Journeys. The great wheel turns into 2014. Another archway, and races on. Each new year we stop, link hands, sweep the past aside, as if it were easy to rejuvenate, rebuild, reinvent ourselves, as if it were easy to forgive. And here we stand at the centre point of this country, the places and people we love so deeply sown within, our stories passed down, carried at times clenched like a hard stone, sustained as a minor chord by the lonely Croat, whose visions of pines and turquoise overlay the Digbeth rush hour to get back to something pure before the beauty was polluted, families torn. I shut my eyes and from these streets acknowledge the city's fault lines, its cracks, a world in minuscule, resentments of the corner shop without alcohol or English news, the covering or exposure of bare flesh, objection to adornments, habits, the privileges of wealth and class, of colour even. From the new streams of global jihad to its ramifications in Spark Hill, mistrust and misunderstanding, certain neighbours living side by side but as if epochs away, from thread of dislike, jealousy to the spiralling of tribe against tribe, a daily diet of myth and superstition passed down, the consequences multiplied, ever on. Here, around us, there are men, women, aged and young, nursing the remnants of apartheid, black and white people, hearts forever dented by the abomination of slavery, tormented by hangings in cotton fields, our ancestries in faint or fierce way connected as victims, perpetrators, and for failing to act against the orchestration of mass murders. The culling of human beings into pits, their jewelry scavenged from the sludge of slaughtered skin. Auschwitz, Srebrenica, Kigali, Darfur. Even this city once colluded in the making of slave chains and armaments. Amongst us too are strangers for whom the terror of their journey is etched indecipherably as a cruel map on their faces, and men who, barely older than boys, carved out the rounded bellies of women, then watched their 2 times dying eyes. Of course, there are explanations, academic studies, but the taking of even one life utterly desecrates the miracle of birth and motherhood. Yet here too, in the very same place, dwell Palestinians and Jews, side by side. The Jewish school is full of Muslim children. There are Sunni and Shia. And somewhere in the dense fabric of Small Heath, Sparkbrook or Smethwick live Hutus, and somewhere Tutsis too. There are Sudanese and Somalis with dreams of recreating Mogadishu, schooling their children in English alongside Pakistanis, Poles, Jamaicans, Zimbabweans and Chinese. Each December, inhabitants from every creed and quarter marvel at the German market, all of us making what we can of it, of this time. Our mixed race, mixed heritage children, a testament to the glorious and extraordinary merging and transcending of difference. A testament to peace, which must surely be the kernel that drives us on. And if journeys let us stand back, review the world, let this be a turning point, a brand new year. The city all around us, these pillars, the mosaic spectacle of tower block, the city a kaleidoscope, a daring embroidery, spread out like spokes, a web itself a giant wheel encompassing, each of us carrying wrapped inside ourselves our own threads and journeys, each one of us an infinitesimal part, such that every wrong, tear or break is ours too, stitched into the very tapestry of us.